I just wanted to ask you a question about the fulcrum of this development of intuition. And the fulcrum is a self-actualized person. And in your book, and even in this share, you were talking about a self-actualized person is a person who has their negative and positive emotions. Can you talk a little bit more about that, as what self-actualized means as you're sharing it, and also then how it plays a part as the fulcrum?
All 7 steps are for the process. Because the 7 steps come from you see, Mother Nature created the rainbow with the 7 colors. Your Mother Nature created the music, especially you call the 7 notes, okay, like that. The 7 is the steps of process. Every process, the 4th component is the fulcrum. Like in the balance, in the physical world, you see it in the balance, the fulcrum is not that, then thing doesn't work. If fulcrum becomes very stronger and stronger, it remains in the center, then whatever progress you may carry forward. At the same time, once you create the balance, he has the ability to go further. Because whenever he images, you got intimacy with imagination, intimacy of thinking and feeling and emotion. At that time, there is the possibility of the negative emotion comes and positive emotion. We act because who created it? I created. So I act, I accept it. I do not argue with this negative, I want to hide it. You accept it, automatically to go away. Positive emotion. The whole secret is that self-actualization. You actualize yourself to accept it as it is. Moment you do not accept, you create the mindset. That is a rational mindset, negativity and positivity. Now we are going beyond logic and reason and rationality, we are beyond it. We accept it. Whole secret is allowing, and then receiving, and then accepting. The accepting, once you accept it, there is no whole secret of the conscious mind or the meditation is developing the consciousness. You are not against the negative, it is yours, and the positive is yours. You take both the side, because your ugliness and beautiful side is both part of you. That is I I shared with you, self-love. You see the negative part of it, ugliness part of it, and you see the beautiful part of it. You accept it, and then you develop the self-love. Then you transform. That you call transmute, transform, and transcend. If you do not accept, you are wasting your energy, and then consciousness remains stuck with the state of mind. Now we are lifting the state of mind, you can change the mindset. That is the metaphysics. The world metaphysics beyond state, metaphysics beyond the space-time dimension, which is human mind, is a mind, you can change the mindset. Once you accept the secret part of it, self-love, as that is the secret part of it, accept it. Thank you very much for asking.
It's interesting because it's almost like there's 2 reflections of that word. In order to self-actualize, like you said, in order to come into maybe what you're co-creating about yourself, even if it's a healing of a mindset, you have to first be with yourself where you actually are. So if you can come into yourself actually as you are, with the positive and with the negative, and you don't battle with either, you accept it, from that point you can transform, transmute, and transcend it and become self-actualized.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
That is very fascinating. Yeah. In Maslow's theory, he went up to 5th need. First need is the survival, second need is security, third need is belonging. There's a basic need for the human being. The 4th fulcrum is the self-esteem. I am much more than what I am. My esteem, I estimate myself, I'm much more than what then you start looking for. And there are the 2 components. One is the false component, and one is the positive component. The false component, the negative component, goes with the ego, negative ego. And positive component goes with the self. The self wants to grow, and negative ego wants to hold you. They want to give it all. I want the precedence, I want to be this, I want to make this money, and that. And self wants to grow. Self want to go, so suddenly enters in the arts or sculptures and paintings and music and all kind of things, different kind of things. They are called, and he enjoys. Instantly, no all gratification instantly. That is self-actualization. You see the Picasso or whatever, all the artists you see, they enjoy it. Okay, Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci and modern artists or modern people also. So whatever you do, I also enjoy. I create a metaphysical center. Okay, because I enjoy. And then it becomes very joyful. That is the Maslow's theory, is the fifth. Now we are in the metaphysics. We are in 21st century. We are going. Now I know the mysteries of the universe, mysteries of my life. For the universe is the physical universe, and there are another universes are bigger than physical universe. I found the mystery. That is the sixth. And finally I fall in love with the existence. Existence is my ascending God master, and I am part of that. I become nothing. The negative ego totally die. That is the sixth and seventh need. They come in the 21st century because of the metaphysics. And thank you very much for asking me that question.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta.